social distancing until the end of the year, which is a good long while. And of course, there's huge implications for church around that. Every church in the country is trying to figure out what church looks like in this season. And I think there's a particular challenge to churches that rely on people coming along and having a nice experience. And probably every church is guilty of that in some ways. And there's also a challenge to individual Christians who do their faith passively, showing up on a Sunday, but not really doing much more than that. In the New Testament book 1 Thessalonians, Paul looks back on what happened when he was actually in the Greek city of Thessaloniki. And we know he was only there for a few weeks, but we also know he had a big impact on the church there. He actually got it going. And chapter 2 of that book gets into the nuts and bolts of what he actually did. Not just his theology, but what Paul actually did in Thessaloniki for those few weeks. And the heart of it is in chapter 2, verse 8. Just this one line. He says, "Because we loved you so much, we were delighted to share with you not only the gospel of God, but our lives as well." And what Paul did goes beyond a great talk or a nice worship experience or good rapport. Think about what he says. He says, "We loved you." That's the first bit. This was not just a program he had. This was a passion for people. An old friend of mine always says this phrase, "People can hear your heart before they hear your words." They can hear your heart before they hear your words. Meaning, if it's not based on love, and people can tell, it means nothing. Paul and his mates Silas and Timothy authentically loved people. They weren't just there to share information, they were there to love people, and people could tell, it was obvious. And he says, we shared with you, in other words, we gave, we communicated, there was a generosity, not only the gospel, the life-changing news about Jesus, that was high priority, but our lives as well. Paul and Silas and Timothy shared their lives, their own lives completely changed by that gospel message. In other words, they said, we gave our very selves to you. And that's what people need. That's probably what people have always needed, but maybe it's never been as clear as it is right now. And it may be that just one of the many outcomes of this season is that the church, by which I mean all the Christians, come to a new understanding of what it is to be church, taking the emphasis away from slick sermons or nice musical moments which have their place. It's about being so shaped by the good news about Jesus that we share our lives as a community with the people around us in rich friendships and find transformation in the middle of them. When Paul and his friends shared their lives, it meant they did the day-to-day stuff together with the people they ministered to. They prepared food, they ate together, they worked the land. That's where the real rich conversation and relationship building happens. They communicated friendship and love by saying, we want to do life with you. So what does it look like for you right now to share your life with the people around you? All our circumstances are different. You might be in lockdown with family or housemates, or you might be on your own. You might be working loads, or you might be on furlough. Whatever your circumstances, there'll be someone or some people who would benefit hugely by you sharing your life with them in some way right now. Whether that's a coffee over Skype, running some errands for them, letting them into your life by telling them how you're feeling, or even just turning off some screens and doing a jigsaw with them. So why not take a moment, pray about it, and see if you can come up with maybe 3 people who would benefit today by you doing something to share your life with them and then going and making it happen. Not just for the sake of it or because it's fun, although hopefully it will be, but because sharing the good news about Jesus in our words and our actions and sacrificial love is actually what we're all about as God's church. Have a good day.